Hi, John here. It's Monday the 11th of May 2015. Just a update on the political scene in Britain, general elections. So my estimation of that is, now that Cameron is the outright leader of the Westminster Parliament, it's going to put a lot of pressure on him now. I've been reading the results, and as far as I can see, there is still a lot of racketeering going on in the voting system. But however, that's how they do it, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Cameron from now on. He'll buckle well before September, when the Queen is hoping to reach the longest, being the Queen. I don't think that's going to happen, actually, my estimation of it, because she'll get caught in the fraud with Cameron when Sturgeon, the Scottish first Prime Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, will heap the pressure on him, and will be heaping the pressure here where the Queen's business is, in Auckland, New Zealand. Okay, it's just across the road from me on Mahuhu Crescent, the NZ Invest Limited. That's where her business is, right here. Just want to let you people in the world know, and all these people in New Zealand know, that the net's closing in on the fraudsters, and you can see what's happening with Cook Street. That's a combination between that and the Queen running a racket and a scam right through the world. That's why they're getting ready to bomb the place out. That's the evil behaviour of her and her Washington DC company, her private company that Obama's running rampant under King William, under this flag of ours here at the back. You can see at the back of me, they're using that flag. I'm going there to take it off them to Devonport, because that's our contract that she's violated, and she has no Admiralty of her own. It's a Vice Admiral is short of the Admiral in this flag. That's a contract, a commercial, private contract between King William IV and us, his native trading partner. Okay? So, I better to tell you now, before she gets to being the longest monarch, that it'll be short-lived because of what she's doing, trying to steal the British military. They are pissed off with her for cutting their salaries and cutting everything, and that's what Cameron needs to be booted out off the land of England. I'm just telling you, because that's where her business is running, from the EU Parliament, and she's a conflict of interest, treason to the British people. And it's going to take good old Scotland to get the answers out of Cameron. He won't be able to stand the pressure of being asked, where are all those children? Right? That's the first question. What have they done with those children they violated? That's their way of life, culture in Westminster. Is the biggest paedophile racket in the world is there, right there in 10 Downing Street. And it's going to come out. It's going to come out. So between her, Scotland, put together all the titles that are all the mortgage liens under King William IV. All the mortgage liens, Scotland put it together with their brain. And Britain wouldn't even give them a warship or a warplane. They kept it to themselves in England. I'm going there as Rogan on the English side to push my own family of royal family here in the Pacific, there to heap pressure on the Queen and her estate. Okay, so it's the same here, no different to the police here, doing what they're doing to me here in Auckland, New Zealand, holding off and saying nothing and trying to think that's going to work. No, we are building the Queen the 970 million trillion pound note, the green one you see online, it's going on there now, Blue Snap and PrestaShop, and it's going to be selling her and all her royal families as debt instruments against King William's pound note, not Rothschild's pound note. This is King William, the creator of the pound note and the British coins, sterling, at 1830, 1837, period of time when he put together the commerce to go around the world on this flag. Okay, on this flag of his. That's our free passage through the world that Prince Andrew got caught, right? He's a racketeering, the whole family is racketeering. The people belong to their assets, and they have taken the assets for themselves. So the people will rise up now and take back their land. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. Taking back our land off their corporate company. Okay, off their corporate companies and build them, because we've got companies too. So if anybody that's watching what I'm doing here, it's just normal business practice. That what I do is corporate as well as private business. So I'm doing the same game as them, only thing is it's not them that's in control. I'm in control of our own flag jurisdiction of Admiralty mortgages. Okay, mortgages on these land blocks. It's no different to everywhere in the Commonwealth that King William set it all up in 50 years. He was in the Navy and constructed his parliament around the acts that made commerce. He made the bank commerce to go from Britain around the world with this flag, not with the Union Jack flag. That's all in tatters now. When Scotland goes, they're going to go independent before long. Then Westminster will be fractured in half, totally in half, with only England and Wales. It won't survive. Then Scotland will come to Devonport, set up a new government with the King, and the Queen will be ousted. Okay, that's how it works. If you're a mechanic, you'll go into the engine and change its pistons, okay, and flatten its head, right, and give it a valve grind, a good valve grind, and a paint job. Change the stickers on it, take the squash sticker off it, give it to the Queen, and bury it. Okay, that's all. It's just normal business to change the driver. They got driverless trucks now, so you can have a driverless Westminster driven from Devonport. Okay, on the King of Hanover's property. Okay, so that's our contract, is the King of Hanover. Okay, I'm going surrogate king to speak for him because we've got an inheritance of his King's royal revenue and his estate lands and his Admiralty mortgage lands over the whole of the world. Okay, and that's how I see it from here. And the Crown will have bills on the head, the police, to the point of bankruptcy. Okay, because it's racking up now on Cook Street. I'm going into the police station today to take an affidavit, a very short one, to ask Tony Gendenhuys, the station manager, customer service manager, to tell him that they made a mistake, and for him to rescind what Sergeant Tim Duffy said to me, because I said I'll challenge it. This is the challenge, a 3-day affidavit. He's only got 3 days to reply on behalf of his police that's got the bill. The bill is on the head. Okay, so I'm putting the figure in there today on his bill, and the government's wiping their hands clean of it. That's the IPCA, the Independent Police Conduct Authority. Okay, they've wiped their hands clean and said, John, go back to the senior officer at the Auckland Central Police Station. So between that problem the police have created inside a private contract between me and the landowners, I'm saying to the landowners, off the land, because they've committed fraud. and the police have covered it up. Okay, the police are covering up because the lawyers can't talk. They don't want to talk. Well, this is the only way to get it out of them, is the police themselves that are libelled, and so is the Queen. The Queen is libelled with all that bill. It comes out of the bigger green note that you'll see online on Blue Snap as an item, a catalogue of items. There's 9 notes and coins of King William. Okay, so King William belongs to us. His inheritance of his King of Commerce. Right? He's the King of Commerce. That contract belongs to us, and his flag and everything that has been derived by the Queen fraudulently will be taken off her, and the trust. Okay, the trust, I'm going to England to kick her out as the head of our trust, the Queen Victoria Trust, and I'll get an audit done on it, and I'll be there with Gordon Bowden. He's proficient enough as a Air Force military man of past, so he's got information that will bring into the courts in Devonport or Plymouth into the High Court of Admiralty there, and that's higher authority than the other courts because it's a straight Admiralty to this flag. Will raise up next to his memorial, King William's memorial in William Yard in Devonport. It's been all converted to apartments, shops, so I'm going straight in there to put this flag up and claim his King's Bench title inside the nearest court there, and then enforce our laws from 1830 to 1837. Okay, we're going to implement those laws and force them on the Queen, who's in government in exile as in treason against the people of Britain, the British people, UK British people. She has abandoned, and we're going to audit her account and accounts of all her corporate companies, including Washington DC. That's her company in the United States, where she's making all the big racket and killing everybody. Okay, she's the one, the mastermind behind all the killings in the world, the wars. And if the money's going out of this trust to pay for that, that's going against her and all the gold, the 1.2 million tons of gold that she's hidden. Okay, so she'll be pulled into the court. She will be forced into the court by the military. She owns the police, like the same as over here. That's her people. The police are her people, and the police in all Commonwealth countries is her people. In the meantime, the military belongs to the people. The military is pissed off because she cuts their wages and takes more money for herself, and Gordon Brown and her signed the Lisbon Treaty, if I forget, that allowed them to take things out of Britain into the EU Parliament. Okay, so she's a threat. She's a threat in America. She's a threat in the Commonwealth countries. She is the mastermind with Rothschild, Evelyn Rothschild, not a woman. That's a man's name with a woman's, the man with a woman's name, Evelyn. Okay, you see how evil they are? They twist things around, and they are the ones. He and the Rothschild kids came out of Queen Victoria, right? And that's the mafia that's causing all this patents all over the world, the marijuana and that. We have our own patents under the King of England of the marijuana plant or anything in this well, and it's going to get taken off them, okay, because we're billing them. We're billing everybody that works for the Queen and has the Queen on their documents, right? They get the bill. That's straight business, okay? If you did wrong in commerce, that's our law. That's not her law. That's our law. She is not a commercial person. She is not a commercial person. She's a private director now of a private company. Shouldn't be Queen. She should not be queen. She's breaking her own rules. Okay, so that's the evil in Westminster that Nicola Sturgeon, if you're watching this video, this one's for you. I want you to go and get it out of Cameron. Who's been covering up the pedophiles? Who's been covering up the fraud? And get it out of them. I'll set the court up for you. Okay? I will set the court up with this flag of King William as the King of Scotland. Okay? So your best advice from me is to go independent. That'll leave England and Wales battling it out. I'll deal with the England part with Rogan's judges. Okay? I will deal with them with the Rogan. That's my family name. Okay? There. And our Tahitian names here, Wanoa and Manukau, Kawharu, Parapara, all those indigenous names, not the fake Maori names. You can wipe the Maori right out of our way. Chuck them right out, because that belongs to her. That is her tribe. Okay? That's the one we're building. The Moai King William Trust will build the Queen and its Maori. Alright? I'm saying that because that's the way it is. That is the way it is. Because they have fabricated our history, stolen it, stolen my Moai statue that's standing in London. That's our title, Nicola. That's my title. That's me. There. And we will join that with King William in Devonport. So the authority, the highest authority, will come from Devonport and make its way back into Westminster from there. From that point in time, the British military was the biggest in the world. Was right there with King William. Okay? So they've gone and smothered him over and say, oh, he's a sailor boy. No, he's more than a sailor boy. He's the emperor. He is the emperor of British Empire. Okay? And we carry on his business. We carry on our partnership between Britain and the rest of the world, where Moai is, and they've put those statues right around the world, including in Brussels. Our Moai statue is there. That's us, Nicola. That's my own family, royal family, statue that they picked up and took off my island, right? Why I say that is because my family came from Tahiti, from Rapa Nui to Mokonui, from East Island to New Zealand, East Coast, where the sun first rises in the world, Nicola, and it is the closest distance to the sun, and it's up the top half. It's up. The sun is pointing down that way on the South Pole. The North Pole is under here, underneath, going up that way, right? And Nicola, this is our title to the Moai statue. It's running on the sun line around the top equator, okay? And from East Island, at midday, the sun is right above. At 6 a.m. in the morning, it's right at this point on Mokonui and Te Pito, the birth of New Zealand, on my land blocks. Okay? So that's 6 a.m. and it's 6 p.m. in London. Okay? 6 p.m. in London. That's the title to the world. That is the Sun Ra title to the world. You can forget about everything else. Okay? Forget everything else, because that's fixed. That's God's title. It's the truth. And where London sits, underneath here, it's further down under the bottom half of the world. Okay? London is down here. And Ghana is straight up on the sun line, 4 hours, about 4 hours away from England. That's the correct sunspot. Okay? That is the correct sunspot in the Kingdom of Ghana. Okay? That mark there is, the time is the same as London. The time of the sun when it hits the both points. But one is further in time to the other. That way. Okay? Longitude, latitude. Latitude in time, that's where the sun's going around, and longitude down this way. You're right down there. Right? Further from the south up there. Okay? So what the evil Queen and Vatican and Rothschilds is trying to do is spin the earth around. That's why they're spraying it. That's why they're spraying the skies. and killing all the fish in the sea at the expense of life. They want to spin the world to fit their brainless theory. Okay? Their brainless theory that's the way it should be. No, God made it that way, with south up, north down, the bottom. That's it. He made it. Man is not God. God will fix that up and it won't go nowhere. But they're killing everything. They're killing everything, Nicola, and the rest of the world. That's not the way the people should be thinking. If the people who voted for Cameron, like they did, those are the people that will get the bill for allowing him to spin the world around. And they are brainless people. They don't know. The ignorance of people who are not in tune with the way we think is logic. The way we think is logic. Any engineer will tell you that that's right. The sun is up here. It's pointing like that, not up here. Right? You'd have to spin your north up here to make you get closer to the sun. Right? That's why all along the equator line, that's up here, they're black skin. Okay? They're black skin, and you're white down the bottom. Okay? If you went up the top, you'd be black, and they'd be white. Okay? But it has not happened yet. And man is ruining the world to make his silly, stupid brain fit what God had put together, and they are thinking they are God. This is, the Vatican churches are the most evil people on this earth in America, shooting and killing people. The Vatican is doing that. The church itself. So all the 2 billion people, out of the 7 billion people in the world, will get the pound note bill from King William. Okay, that's just how it works. Because it's a queen versus a king right now. It's a king versus a queen. I'm a surrogate king, inheritor to King William's royal revenue from what he set up. Okay? They inherit, she inherits the bloodlines, the bad bloodlines of the George family. We're going there to get rid of the George family, of the royal family that's caused all these problems in the world. And we're going back to King William. Out of the Georges, he's the best one. Okay? So I'm saying to you, Nicola, they are safest to keep this flag that'll send you around the world with a pound note, your pound note too. Okay? The Bradbury pound note, and all of that from Scotland. But Scotland has the titles. I'm into the titles of the land that they went together into the EU, into the British UK government, that went around the world, and the Scots broke the land in. The Scots broke the land in. Okay? The English were the ones behind all the courts. Okay? And the Welsh was the ones that are not too sure which part they played in the onslaught of the world. Okay? And the Irish, they were the engineers that did all the contracts. Okay? I know, being an engineer myself, I was with engineers out in Papataitai on their, with all their machines. I was slinging around with their machines. Okay? Kerry Drainage in Papataitai, Kerry Drainage. Okay? So those guys know me, if they're watching this video, that I was very much into buildings and so forth. So to our people over there, I see a lot of people online now on Facebook. Thanks to you for saying hello. And to Sue, I'm talking to Sue Young. She's in administration over there in her job. And in her part-time, she will look at what we're doing with the Blue Snap and the PrestaShop sites. And so it's good to have her there in confidence with me and Jamie Patrick Stewart Ngatai. we're working together. Jamie's been away for a few days, but however, I'm just telling her I'm getting ready to go. I'm starting to pack my things here. This place where I am, I've been here since brand new. It's the Waldorf hotels have bought the whole place out, all the owners out. Okay, all the owners here have sold out, and so I'm having to go too because of the corporate structure here, the body corporate of anybody that buys properties with body corporate in it. Then the body corporate and the iwi Maoris here. The iwi Maoris are Crown-owned tribes. All the iwis in this country, I'm afraid, they are not real. They are the Crown's corporate business. Okay, so they get the bill. They get the bill too. They are the ones that are responsible for taking money and land and assets off the local people in the area. So I'm saying this appeal to all you British people. It's your land. It's your country. And do not let the EU Parliament tell you what to do. That's what's Alex Salmond, to you. Very good that you won your seat there in Gordon. But you know what you've got to do. You know a straight-up man what to do is to tell the EU Parliament to F out of Britain, okay, to F out of Britain, and to put the 4 states of Britain, UK back together. I'll come into Devonport and set up this courthouse, and we'll transfer the powers from there back into Westminster, a brand new Westminster. Okay, we'll clean out the hash in there with Cameron and your Foreign Secretary, what's his name? Anyway, you know who it is, and I've been writing to him. I've got his picture in my head, but anyway, him. He's the other one in the EU that's causing the strife. Okay, he was the Secretary of State before, and now he's the Foreign Secretary. His name will come to me in a minute, but anyway, between him and all those ones who are in there in the Conservative Party, you're going to have a hard time from now on, because the people have had it with you. There'll be so many disruptions all over the world because of the Queen. Once you get rid of the Queen, it'll all stop. All the racketeering will stop dead in its tracks if you get rid of her and her bad family. And William is worse. Prince William is worse. He's not going to get this flag. He's not going to take King William's name. He's not going to use his commerce or his Admiralty court-martial law or his authority of jurisdiction and constitution in 1835. That belongs to us. That is our inheritance and our asset. Okay? All of his spoils of prize and possessions belongs to us. We will take it off you, and you, Prince William, you're Juan Carlos. You're a Spaniard. Okay? You're a Spaniard. I'm saying that's nothing English. I'm English. Okay? I'm English with a Rogan against your name as Carlos. Juan Carlos. And your brother from the Hewitt family is here. Right? Your brother is here, Harry, prancing around in front of my people. Right? When I say my people, I mean all the people who don't like the royal family being around. Okay? Those other people who are behind the royal family, you'll get the bill from the king. Okay? From the king. You have a big illusion of where you are if you think you're going to last long with the Queen when she's a fraud. We're proving that she's a fraud. The pound note will fix that up because we have the rights to that too. We have our own king's patents over the marijuana. Okay? So the US can go and jump because we'll take this flag off them and they'll have nothing. Okay? So that's what I'm telling you, Alex. You go and do your job, I'll do my job. I will deal with the police here. It's no different to dealing with the police there in Scotland Yard, because they haven't answered me. The Scotland Yard has been ignorant, so I'll fix them up when I get there. We'll put an order together from the King's Bench, because it's still there. Read the court documents. Read the court documents. You'll see King's Bench, silent king. No, not silent anymore. Not silent anymore. Why? We'll just replace the lot of them. We'll just replace the lot of them with the pound note, and that goes back to all the other 5 billion people who are the people that own the land. They own the resources, and they are not going to give anything up for the elite. Okay? We're going to strip the elite with the pound note and King William's coins. Okay? Okay, Alex? You got that one? And you've got the land titles, all right? You've got the certificate of titles to take off them. I will take the certificate of titles off the Queen, right through the Commonwealth. Strip that off the mortgages. Okay? They're trying to get rid of the mortgages to hide it. No. We're going to catch them before they go. We're going to catch them before the Queen gets to her longest in monarch. She's not even there, Alex. She has rescinded her sovereignty in England and Britain, UK, to the EU Parliament. So what the hell is she doing in there? Because Cameron will put her in there. That's why. And the racket starts going on again between Labour and the Tories and the Conservatives. They keep the racket going. Well, Alex, I think that's it. That's it. They had enough, and so say Sue. They've had enough of stealing properties, taking them off people in hospitals, and mortgaging people to hell. All the mortgages, all the fraud, all the stock market can go to hell. Can go to hell. They can have that system off Britain. Okay? And so I can see Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, Brazil, Hungary, joining the new Britain. Alex and Nicola, the new Britain. Did you hear just what I said? The new Britain, UK, is a 4-state plus one more in the Pacific. 5-state. All that land in the Pacific, and take the US out of it. Okay? Okay? That's how it works. And keep the military. This is for the British military. And Horton. To you and George Zambalis. He's the Navy, Chief Navy, Rear Admiral, Sir George Zambalis, and Nicholas Horton, the Chief of the Defence Military. You and I and my Pacific people are in partnership together in business. Whatever I do with the pound note belongs to you to recover. Okay? Did you hear what I just said? I'm here to use the pound note in Britain to recover everything from the Queen and her police and her Scotland Yard. Okay? So when we get there and set it up in Devonport on the Navy base, then I expect the British military to tell the EU Parliament, you're not going to buy us out. Okay? Because that's what the Queen is doing. She's trying to get you people in the military to go and work with the EU Parliament, where she's operating her private businesses, including Queen Elizabeth II, which she mortgaged all of the British people into the Vatican. That's her company. Queen Elizabeth II is her private company that she's a CEO of, in other words, a director of. And Washington, D.C., that's her other private company, not a corporate company, a private company. No one can inquire into any private companies. The same as what I've got here, Moai Crown. No one can inquire into that private business against the landowners on Cook Street. Okay. Then I've got the other corporate company that is building them at the same time. So I'm going from both sides, Alex, and the military. So Alex, you must talk to the British military to tell the EU Parliament and the Queen and Cameron to exit out. Stay out, off the land of England. Stay off the land of England, because I'm coming there as a Rogan, the English and Irish Cosgrove lawyers. Rogan, judges. Okay, I'm going straight in as a judge in the court, straight in, to put the Acts of Westminster 1830, 1837 together from there, and then apply them to the whole Commonwealth. Okay? That's how it works. That's how it works. We're not worrying about their bloodlines. They can have them. We'll get someone else bloodlines better than that. So there's other people who want to be a king. Jamie and I want to be the ambassador of Britain. So I'm going there to stand in for the king. William? Until they find another one. Okay? In the meantime, I'm there as the King of England. Okay? You got that? That's how it works in contracts. We're talking about commercial contracts from one country to the other under this flag, and the pound note goes straight around the world. So that's what I'm talking about. That's where the revenue comes from to pay you, the British military, from when I set up over there. And we'll go in and audit. The British military, I'm talking to Sir George Zimbalist and Nicholas Horton, will go in and force the HM Treasury open and check, audit their accounts to see where all the money of England has gone to that belongs to the people of England and Britain. It includes Ireland. Okay? So the 4 states nations, Alex Salmond, head for that. The 4 states nations, and we're coming in with the 5th, from the Pacific. All that expanse of land in the sea belongs to our business, as it was with King William, as it still is now. The legacy is there. Not the Queen and the US Vice Admiral is not an admiral. They're just a pretend admiral. No more pretending now. It's all over. Okay, so all that military equipment that they're using to kill all the fish in the sea, we're billing them. For all the skies being sprayed, we're billing them all and seizing all the property with the military, with the British military. I'm making a clear statement today, right in front of the world. This is not so much for New Zealand, but I'm saying it to the whole world listening, that there are people now who have had enough of the fraud, corruption inside the government of Westminster, right through the Commonwealth countries, and affecting a lot of people, and the children especially. And Britain is the highest in corruption in the world when it comes to children and families, splitting them up. You have split all our families up, and we're going to put them all back together again, with all that we recover for the people, and they go and purchase into the stake of what I'm doing belongs to them. Okay, so this is a plea to all the British people. Stand your ground, it's your land. Take them out off the land, because they're only put there by people in the community. Find who's supporting them, and then tell them you're going to get the bill. And you go, we'll give you a sheriff badge to go and seize all their property and see how they like it. That's all the supporters of Cameron and the Tories. Okay? We'll soon identify all of them. When I get there, we'll find all those people, then go around and pick their houses off them. Tough. Tough. You support the racket, you pay for the racket. Okay? Same here in New Zealand. All the people watching, and Australia. All our people in Australia finding it very difficult to clobber the beast. They're doing it in little bits, but this is one big shot. And it's going to take you, Alex, and those 2 men I just said, Horton Nicholas Horton and Sir George Zambelis to do it. 3 men. 3 men. And myself. And all the supporters and the fellows with the information, Gordon Bowden and John Patterson. Okay? I won't say much about George Lees because it's difficult because he knows a lot of information, but it's not lining up with the commerce. Okay, you can say a lot of things, but when it comes down to the nuts and bolts, as a mechanic would say, the nuts and bolts that holds everything together and makes it tick over and funds it, that's where I'm coming from. Okay, the real commercial trading between them and us. Okay, so this is a long video, but I'm always making long videos so that I don't miss anything when I talk to you, and the phone's not ringing and someone's not walking in while I'm talking, and leave it abandoned, like the last time I did with the video. So to my crew here, we're looking at the police now. I'm just focusing on Tony Gendenhuys. I've gone around long enough to end up back on him, and someone's accountable now. I'm holding him accountable with an affidavit today, a 3-day affidavit, 72 hours to respond. If he doesn't respond, then that gives me the right to seize the property with my private investigator, ex-Scotland Yard Graham Elliott. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, because the police are interfering in a contract by standing, and it's none of their business. It's none of their business. They cannot legally do that. But it's too late now because the bill has gone out. It's racked up from the 12th of March 2015 till now. I'll give them the figure of what they owe. And it won't be enough. It would bankrupt the whole police businesses. The whole 28 of them will collapse. Okay? That's what I'm saying. That's what they've caused. They've caused a problem in contracts, in private commercial contract liens and levy. They've got right in the middle between me and the landowners. You know that enough now to know. So I'm just making a short video for him and a short affidavit to tell them they made a mistake by getting in my road. To please, I refuted everything that Sergeant Tim Duthie said, and now you can, about me being on that land, seizing it as a debt collector. Okay? Debt collector. I'm qualified with what I say and do because there's no one saying no. There's no one writing back and saying no. Not even a lawyer is writing back. Not even the police responded. Tim Duthie failed to respond to my word, affidavit. Okay, so I'm requiring from Tony Gendenhuys, he's the station manager, customer services manager, I'm requiring written documents. Written trespass notice from who wrote it, who complained on the telephone, that person who complained, because I've got a complaint. You can see me complaining, but who is doing the complaining on that side? Because they are playing around with commercial contracts, and that is the problem. They have no legal standing against a commercial contract with a complaint. A complaint is nothing to do with a business. Okay, so I need that from him, written authority. Where do they get their authority to stop me in my contract as a debt collector with all the information that a judge can't find? Okay, so it leaves everybody out on a private contract. Now the police have to tell me in writing, him, where did he get his authority? Why aren't the other fellows at the back talking for themselves? Why didn't Dennis Culverwell, Sergeant Dennis Culverwell, wrote a email to me and said, go back to you? So that means he's got no power. You see the admission of what they write? That was the same with Detective Senior Sergeant Criminal Investigator Aaron Pascoe. He wrote back to me, and this is what he said. John, I don't want to get in a contract with you. It was too late. It was already in the High Court of Admiralty in London, the highest court in the world. That takes Facebook statements, Google, YouTube, and Twitter as evidence in a 2-hour case. So they're gone anyway, because no one's refuted. If they refute any of what I say, then they have to go to the court in London. Period. Okay? Period. Because that's Admiralty. That no one has got authority here to stop me doing Admiralty mortgages. That's what Admiralty is. Mortgages. Alright? I know all about how they get from England to here to America to everywhere from Britain is mortgages and liens. Okay? King William IV, he's the only king in the world that put that mortgage bank loan together. Okay? He made it for the people. I'm taking it back to the people. Okay, Tony? I'm giving it back to the people. In the meantime, you're swearing your oath, or at least Tim Duffy swore his oath in front of my camera, to the Queen. Whether she's a fraud or not, he still swears to the Queen. She is a fraud. I'm saying she is. I'm going to England to actually put her in the court. And she'll have to come because I'm higher than her in authority of where she got her money from, how she got it, and what authority did she use. She had no Admiralty authority. It came from King William IV and his banknotes and his acts of printing money and minting coins, and Bank of England Act is his acts, which is our acts in contract. Okay, did you get that? You get what I mean? I'm just trying to educate people of whose authority did you get here to New Zealand, Tony? And your oath of office, as far as I'm concerned, we already know Tim Duffy, the one that held me up, is swearing to the Queen. And I'm saying she's a fraudster, and she is. Okay? She is a fraudster. That's why she got the green bill, and he's got the blue bill. The £1 trillion a day, including Aaron Pascoe has £1 trillion a day. Okay? And every one of those 28 companies of the police has got £1 trillion a day for all its staff. Did you hear that? I'm racking the bill up. I'm warning you. I'm telling you. The Jesuit's oath is what the Queen is. She's a Jesuit. And what they say, I'll kill you, I'll poison you. You read the oath. Go and read it. Type it into Google. Jesuit's oath. And read the red bits where it says, we'll cut your guts out, the women and the babies out. Right? And we'll eat them. Okay, go and read it. That's what they said. They said they're going to, and they're doing it. They are doing it. Now, all those people who voted for Cameron, that's what you do. You're one of those who I just said, the Jesuits. You are a Jesuit, the 2 billion people in the church, the Catholic Church, the Church of England, all the churches who follow the Queen as their head of state is one of those under the Jesuit saying just what I just said. I'll cut your guts out, rip that out, and I'll burn your babies. That's what they're doing, eating them. If you want that sort of life, you people who voted for Tories, that's what you support. That is what you support. And Nicola Sturgeon, you're watching this video, I'm right when I say that, because they wrote their oath. I wrote an oath that my oath is to the King, King William IV, memorial, statue, and his acts of Parliament in Westminster. We're in the lower house, Nicola. We're in the lower house. I'm going into the lower house because our acts are instituted with this flag that he gave us. It's written, extant forevermore. No one can change it. Only I can change it. In the meantime, we have that authority to go in there and to go into the upper house and clean out the Queen and all her lords out of the upper house. That's what Alex said. He knows. He knows that what we're going to do. We're going to go. You're going to go independent, Nicola. You're going to go independent state now, before September, and then come back in there as a new state with Ireland and Wales and the New England with the King. Okay? You just need the King and Robert Bruce. You can bring Robert. He's okay. I got him on the pound note, all right? He's okay. And that sticks. What I put there sticks. So we go with him. Okay? We've also got Matt Taylor and King Arthur on the pound note. That sticks too. See? We've got a number of kings, but Jeff Foley in Australia has not said anything to me. He's very quiet because he's got his own way of doing things, and I can't encourage him any more than I did. We had a deal going, and he's gone quiet on me. So I can't help that if he doesn't want to. He wants to keep secrets. I never keep secrets, Nicola. I have no secrets, and the king's got no secret. This king, at least, has no secrets. And then you've got Greg Hallett. He's under Queen Victoria, all right. And another king here, Kingi Tauroa. Okay, he's the Edwards. He's the Edwards from there. He's got more right to Queen Victoria title. Kingi Tauroa has more right here ahead of me to Queen Victoria and the trust. Okay, you see, you hear what I'm saying? That we have something going here between my people, not the Maoris, not the Maoris. You can chuck that name out because it won't stick up because it's a copyright. The name Maori and the name iwi only came out, Nicola, in 1945 when the Racket War started. Okay, that's where the money went missing from our trust. It went into the war. And so that's a king. That's another king. Then Greg Hallett, he's another king, but they come under the Queen Victoria line. Okay, that's underneath King William. That I'm talking about contracts here. I'm talking about the contracts, not the bloodlines. Not the bloodlines. That's their side of it. It's got no money. The bloodlines have no money. They have no contract. The contract is here. The key is here, Nicola. I'm holding the keys to the whole commerce because of Judge John Rogan. Here. Here, that pulled the Queen's business. Here. It's here. Okay? Not in England. Not in America. She's using America as a playfield. They have playfield for killing people and babies. They have play things for killing animals. Just for sport. Okay? Just for sport. There's enough information going on. You want to live anymore in the near future in your generations like that? No. Not us. Not us with the king. The king didn't want it that way. He travelled in with the people and let them in his carriage. Okay? King William. So they left King William as William, not George. But he's a George. You see? So they left, she's cunning. I want you to hear this, Nicola. The Queen could not take the King of Hanover title off the monarch emblem thing. Okay? Royal monarchs crest thing. She could not take that title into the EU Parliament, the King of Hanover, because that's our contract. The King of Hanover is a contract with us. You see? She took England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales into the EU Parliament, the sovereignty I'm talking about, the bonds, and sold it on the market in Washington, D.C. Shifted, John Key over here. Listen, John Key in New Zealand took Her Majesty the Queen and Right of New Zealand company, private company, in New York, pulled the shares out, all the shares out, and shut it down. That's why William went there, to shut the New York part of that deal down. Okay? They're cunning, I'm telling you, I'm watching them. And then John Key put those shares into the Commonwealth of Australia in Canberra, where the FBI is, the American Queen's people are running the racket in the federal state. Okay? The federal state belongs to it. Right? Federal state. Everything with federal in it. There's 3 governments in Australia. Federal, Commonwealth and state governments. Okay? It started from the state government with Queen Victoria. Then it moved from Sydney to Melbourne, and that's where Queen Victoria government set up. Okay? Now they've joined state of Victoria into Canberra as a threesome marriage into the new Commonwealth of Australia government. Okay? And so the Queen's still got herself locked inside there. Not the old Queen, but a new Queen, Queen Elizabeth, Supreme Governor of the Church of England. The flipping church again. That's her new title. Queen Elizabeth II, Supreme Governor of the Church of England. That's what she's come as, the second beast into the Supreme Courts here with Shauna Lice. She's going for a skate too. When I come back from Britain, she'll be gone. Gonna hang with her. Both of them. Right? Both of them. They're running the racket here of the NZ Invest Limited company with Shauna Lice in the Supreme Court as the judge, the highest judge here in this country. Okay? Shauna Lice. And her racketeering judges. All right? And Carruthers is the judge, ex-judge, that's the chairman of the NZIPC, of the IPCA, Independent Police Conduct Authority. Now, he's the chairman of that wrote to me, okay, wrote to me in the email, said, John, go to the senior officer in the Auckland Central Police Station, him, saying, oh, we have no jurisdiction to tell you or the police. That's a private matter. That's a private matter. That's their business. We've got nothing to do with their business. Whether they're running it fraud or not is nothing to do with us. You see? You see? I'm telling you the truth, that they'll have to own up sooner or later. Something's going to snap. Somebody's going to snap, and it's not me. Okay? It'll be the police department there. All I want is my land back. All I want is my land back on Cook Street, and I want them out of there this week. Okay, Nicola? That's what's going to happen in England. We're going to do the same thing all over the world after I do this one, because it's straight. You can see right through it. Okay? You excuse all my swearing, because that doesn't matter. All that matters is the true bits that really matter, that they can't stand up in front of me. They will not stand up in front of me and put something in front, some substantive evidence. Okay? Substantive evidence in front of me. Like facts. Facts. None of them. Not even their fake Maori tribe, iwi. None of them will come up and put a title in front of me that will override what I've got and their flag. Okay? Okay, I'm just saying that a lot of people have been asking questions. I've been answering as much as I can online, because there's comments on YouTube, and I never go there and check them. But there's some bad ones, and I just wipe them off because it doesn't really matter. They just it doesn't stack up, and some of them commenting, I just best to delete them. Okay, if anybody complains negative, I'll just delete them. That's the end of it, so it doesn't worry me anymore. And I don't get upset about nothing, because that's all they're doing. They're just upsetting the whole balance of truth. Okay? So that's all I'm going to do today. I make Jamie a call a little later, and it's supposed to be coming up tomorrow and help me pack up, because we're pack our bags. This time, we're going to try and finish this. Police have been holding me up here. They're going to pay. Tony, your police will have to pay, because you know the mistake. I'm asking you to say, look, we made a mistake. That's all I want to say. We made a mistake. We're sorry. We got in your way, and you're right. It's a contract, and we should not have gone in and stopped you from seizing the property, just like any other debt collector. You have enough information. I've seen all the information through the years, and it stacks up, John. That's all I want Tony to say. He can't say to me, oh, John, it's not a fraud, because it's not for him to be qualified. Like a lawyer, like I am right up to it with the lawyers. Okay? I'm waiting for one lawyer to write to me from that land block, whoever there is, because they've got a few lawyers, on the 21 businesses that James Brown and Simon Roundtree own. Right? Those two young fellas. And they'll get them stripped off them. Watch. Because if they can't refute what I'm saying, that they're running a fraud racket. Now the police are involved as third parties to that racket, and also the real estate company, Baileys, and all the rest of the banks that are in third party to that fraud of Doug Rickard Bell and Jamie Peters, right back to Jamie Peters had this block of land I'm on. That's why I'm in it, because these people here on 426, that's what I meant, 426, number 2, Tapora Street, will get the bill. They will get a debtors bill right back to Jamie Peters and the Gulf Harbour. Okay, so he overspent his budget and got in trouble, and I've got his certificates he gave me. Okay, that's where I got it from him, and that's why I ended up here. Right, that's what I ended up here in this block of land on my ancestors' land. Okay, I'm on the foreshore, which is another title from the dirt they took over there and put over here and put titles on it. It's still in the sea. I'm sitting in the sea here as being a new title. And you say, where did you get your soil from? Did you get it from Japan or England to make this title? Where did you get the land from, the soil? You see what I mean? This is what I had it out with the Foreshore and Seabed Act in Parliament in Wellington. I went in there by myself. I was chosen 300 out of over 3,000 claimants to the select committee. I was one of them. I didn't have a lot of Maoris around me. I went there by myself because the case was too big. Okay, it's still there, the 2004, Helen Clark. She gets the bill too. So there we go. I think that signals the end of this video. There's someone after me, I hope it's Jamie, to check in and get this thing going. Thank you very much, people, for watching. Otherwise it'll be 5 o'clock now and I'll still be talking. But there's plenty to say. I'll save some for later. Okay, bye for now. See you later. And Tony Gendenhuys, I'm up there in a minute. I'll be down as soon as I finish the affidavit things put together to come and see you. I haven't heard back from you. I'm waiting for your phone call. And so I have to take the next step in the process of going back on my land block and ceasing as per the intention. Okay, with my private investigator and lawyer, you Tai Choi. Okay, thank you very much. Bye for now. Have a nice day. It's beautiful out there. I wanted to let you see, that's what it looks like. No chemtrails here. Now, when we get back our power here, any planes flying around with any of that will be pulled down to the ground and taken off them. And we're going to do that in England, Alex. We're going to go and pull all those planes out of the sky and take them off them. Right? With the King's Bench court order. Okay, that's all for now. Bye. See you later. Have a nice day.